Hello, and this is LTN Reviews. Today we're speaking about Uncharted. Ash, what do you think about Uncharted?
Let's go. This is Sony, PlayStation, stroke Naughty Dog's. Well, I would say their biggest franchise no today, apart from Last of Us. But obviously, this is the movie of the Uncharted. You got your front runners. You got Tom Holland, and you got Mark Wahlberg playing Nathan and Sully.
Okay, so let me ask you something. Do you think they suit the characters from the game?
I'll say no.
No?
But the chemistry of the actors on the screen, they gave you a kind of, what would you say? The atmosphere that they put on screen, you could feel the chemistry between the characters, which in the game, Sully and Drake, they have chemistry. So on that front, they won me over.
Yeah, to be fair, I haven't actually played the games myself, but I know what they look like.
Yeah.
And obviously, they got Tom Holland because he's the biggest star at the moment, and obviously Mark Wahlberg. People love Mark Wahlberg, so it kind of I understand why Sony have done it, but to be fair, obviously to sell more tickets, but for me, it kind of seems like
Would you rather people that actually look like the characters?
yes and no. Obviously, with Resident Evil, understand why they've done it. Obviously, with Leon, that's something I don't really understand either. Like with Resident Evil, Leon looks completely different. Obviously, in the games, Leon is a Caucasian male, but in the film, he's what, Hispanic?
Hispanic.
Yeah, so it kind of makes no sense why they've done that. With Leon, he's a big character in the game, so people love who Leon is. Obviously, in Resident Evil,
He's just normally a Caucasian American lad, and he's got something about him. You can tell.
Yeah, exactly.
But in the movies, he's a coward.
Yeah, exactly. But then when it comes to Uncharted, you got Tom Holland.
He used the one-liners. That's what Drake's all about, the one-liners.
Yeah,
so I understand it.
I was going to ask you that because he was quite sweary. So I was
Yeah.
kind of confused. Like, obviously Tom Holland's such a nice, rounded boy, but obviously he was swearing so much in the film. So kind of like, is that his character in the games?
It was strange. Nathan Drake, like I said, he's a treasure hunter. He will do what he needs to do to get the gold, and that's like what Sully's like.
Right.
So, but when you look at Mark Wahlberg, he's supposed to be portraying an old man.
Yeah.
And he's 65, 70 years maybe. With the history, he had the history, but Mark Wahlberg, anyone looks at him, you think late 40s. So the timeline was a bit different, and because how the movie's set up, is set between the Uncharted, I would say, the legacy, the trilogy. You had the fourth game, and then you had a spin-off, Uncharted Legacy. That's why you have Chloe in. But they merged it all into one movie, which they went with the past references to Drake and his brother, which I was like, it's iconic, it's going off the storyline. But the storyline was a bit disjointed to fit it all in, because talking about the treasure ship, the boat, that's from Uncharted 1, which I'm like, if you're going to start off a movie, you do start from the beginning. But this just threw it all together, and the timeline was a bit off. So I'm like, if you're looking for a sequel, normally you're going to go through the video game.
Yeah, like from one to whatever.
I don't know in that sense, but obviously they're in to make money. They're looking to get people that know the franchise and probably a new crowd. So I'm looking at it as like, did it deliver what I wanted to as a fan? Because obviously you've not played the games.
No.
Me as a fan, I enjoyed it, but if I go back to the references of the games, probably not as much.
I mean, for a standalone film for me, because I didn't actually play the games, it was enjoyable. I mean, it wasn't amazing.
Yeah.
I knew what I was going to get anyway. But then it just, I mean, like you said, how is it going to be based on the sequels now? Because they've mixed and matched everything. To be fair, Sony got a good thing now where they can do anything they want.
The platform was open for what can happen next. Like, I look at things as a company, is there profit in it? There was obviously profit in it.
Yeah.
And the on-screen chemistry, it was likeable.
Yeah. I mean, with Mark Wahlberg, he always plays that sort of character.
Yeah, that's...
It wasn't really anything different, obviously. I've seen a lot of more Mark Wahlberg films, and it was just literally, him being all quirky and stuff. I've seen Daddy's Home, Daddy's Home 2, and it's kind of like, oh. He just taken whatever he did from them films. And
But he stars in quite a lot of Sony movies, so has he got a contract with him that I'll portray this character?
Yeah, most probably, because it's the most relatable character, and it's mostly, his go-to, character arc. So I didn't mind it in that respect. But obviously, we've just seen Spider-Man: No Way Home. Just less than 2 months ago.
I said that's the problem. They brought out all these movies at a time where blockbuster after blockbuster. If you're seeing the same face, it's very hard. I always say this about any actor. There's only one actor that I can watch a different movie and I'm like, he's portrayed it different, and that's Denzel Washington. Don't matter which movie I watch, I do not look at him as the same actor from a previous film. Mm-hmm. Tom Holland, like when he started jumping across some obstacles, you like, have we seen this in Spider-Man?
Yeah, literally, man.
Flips and I don't know.
Like, how can you? Yeah, you know what I mean. You go in cinema, you watching him as Nathan Drake, but then I'm looking at him like, oh, you're literally Spider-Man because I've just seen you in Spider-Man. Yeah. And it's funny because Spider-Man's still in cinema, so he's the main character in 2 films that you can actually go watch at cinema right now.
But then again, Uncharted was delayed as well. Like, I think that was supposed to come out, I would say, previous to Spider-Man. So the timeline for all the movie studios at the moment, it's up in the air. Mm-hmm. But for, I would say, a customer reference, if you're seeing the same face regular, you lose a bit of shine.
Yeah, I get that. What else I want to speak to you about? Okay, the theme tune. Obviously, the theme tune is there. Is it the same one as the games as well?
No, it didn't. It put music. Obviously, I always look at how movies are made. Obviously, they will have a soundtrack that fits in with the setting. The video game music, sometimes I do like when they reference it in, because it's like the heritage. Mm-hmm. If you know your games, you hear little. I look at Sonic the Hedgehog. Anyone hears da, 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 straight away you're like, that's my childhood. Yeah. I remember it. But Uncharted didn't deliver that. They went for a different direction. But I know the lead that writes Uncharted, he was heavily involved within the Uncharted movie. So perspectives out there, I'm not too sure
on. Okay. Obviously we've got the open sequence. It just starts with him on the plane.
Yeah.
Why do you think that was? Because I think it just tells the audience what they're about to watch. Really, we really didn't need that. We could just.
Well, we said there was no title.
No,
they didn't show the title at the beginning.
No, just at the end.
Obviously, in the trailers, that sequence has been shown. So people from that's Uncharted 3.
Yeah.
So that's when I said the timeline is a bit sketchy, because then they flip straight back to when he was a kid with his brother Sam.
Is that in the first one?
I can't remember the first game actually referencing his brother as much. The sequels, they involved his brother a lot more. You get up to number 4, and his brother, like I said, I was playing it the other day, and that's where they started off with in the orphanage.
Yeah. And
that's where they begin with. So the timeline is shifting. As a fan, myself, I'm like, so you've gone 3, 4, 3, 4, going back to a 1. That's very confusing for yourself. It was easy digestible as a movie, wasn't it?
It was. What else as well? Okay. Oh, did you see any Easter eggs? The Easter eggs there.
Again, there was odd references, but I feel that they made their own thing about which direction they're trying to take this. So
yeah, I mean, I think Sony played it safe there. Like we said about the casting, played it safe the casting, and playing with the games as well, the timeline, so they can just do whatever they want now.
Because next week, obviously, the movie's still not out in the States.
No, UK got it first.
You got a reference in Fortnite this week. They're bringing out skins for the game, but they have the video game skins and the movie skins.
Yeah, I saw that.
So they're trying. Obviously, it's going to make money regardless. Fortnite is gold at the moment.
Yeah.
So they're churning it out, but even in the Fortnite game, this is like Tom Holland's like I think it's his third skin, and in a sense, I'm like, what kind of angle are they trying to do? Obviously, Sony, all these studios, they're trying to make a lot of capital as much as they can.
Yeah.
But bringing out it all in a small window. This is like Spider-Man was December. We're now start of February. So a 2-month window, and you've got such Tom Holland. He's been in what did we call it the other day? He's been in 4 or 5 movies in the last 12 months.
Yeah.
Chaos Walking.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Cherry?
Cherry. Is that the Apple TV one? Right?
Yeah.
It dropped on Apple TV.
So I think he's been in 4 or 5.
Yeah.
It's very hard for a fan to digest this. Mm-hmm. There's an overdose. We've had it over the years. You'd always have people could still call it Keanu Reeves. People don't have to call him John Wick or Neo.
Yeah.
So
no, with that as well, we got The Rock as well. He does that quite a lot. So there's so many Rock films out, and you just know which one it is. He's always in the jungle.
But to be honest, I see The Rock as a different character. I don't look at him and be like, obviously Black Adam's due out. I think he fits these certain characters. I understand, but Tom Holland is always the polite young gentleman, and he don't change his hairstyle or anything. It's the same face.
Same face. That's all. What was I going to say? Well, obviously, I'm talking about pop culture, because when there's that Mark Wahlberg scene about Tinder, for me it was kind of like I didn't know what timeline the actual games were. The games
are set further back, so obviously pitting in 2021, like statistics in a sense, it's very hard because you're like, I've not played that in the game, and as we said, Uncharted 3 must have came out, I would say now, maybe 2014. So if you think of the timeline, but that we're bringing it back to the current time, that's a big 7-year gap, and now you got a Tinder reference in there. Yeah, but I think they've just scaled it back to, as they always say, we try to put things out there that is relevant to the crowd.
Yeah, just relatable stuff, and obviously Tinder is, and people use that. So it was quite a funny reference, but it's I'm kind of taken back. I was like, Ash, by the way, do you know when it's, what's his base? But
I was quite very thrown back because you were asking me references through the movie, and I'm like, we've gone from 2014, we've gone to 2012, we've gone into the future to back. It was hard, but as we said, as a movie, it's digestible if you're the neutral.
Okay. Speaking about the characters as well, we had the bad guy, and he's quite generic because he always plays that sort of character.
Yeah, I can't remember if he is an actual character from the game. But
so they've probably just thought about it.
But it's weird because in the game, the first one, they get taken over, like an Indiana Jones. They go to a crypt, and there's some voodoo. Yeah. They get possessed. They obviously didn't move that into the game, and his death was just like that. It was some dialogue that didn't really need to be in it.
Nah.
So
yeah, his death was not even shocking in a way. It was kind of like, oh, is that it?
Yeah.
Because you think it would be some really big death, but it was just the same stuff really that they'll do for a little cop out. And obviously the girl who's like the main villain now, the main villain dies. Was she in the game at all?
Nah. This is the thing. I think they readjusted the storyline to fit the narrative to what made sense within the story that they told. The story wasn't bad, but it was a reference jumping between the games, which, if you sit there as a logical sense, you're like, some of this was needless. So, because obviously with the games, they have a set theme. So they're treasure hunting, because that's what it was. They were moving the treasure hunting around the world, weren't they?
Yeah.
So it went from Barcelona to, I don't even know where the location was in the end. It was somewhere in the Arabian Sea or something.
Yeah.
And it didn't make much sense, because when I play the games are storytelling in themselves. So the movie sits between 4 movies, which I don't know. Obviously, it sets itself up for further films, but I'm like, are they gonna have to bring out more games to fit in with this dialogue? Or are they gonna just mix the movies with the games again? Like, I think in number 4 is a Prison Break. That's where his brother disappears. So I'm like, because his brother, that got left as an open thing.
Yeah.
So I believe the sequel's out there.
We just have to wait and see, guys, really. Ash, one more thing. Would you say it's a cinema experience or a rental?
Remember what I was saying the other day? Would you pay £25 for this disc at home?
No, not me personally.
That's what I put it down to. Would you pay to have this in your collection?
No.
For me, it's digest. How I look at it is, if Sony, they're saying Sony's going to change their PlayStation network. if they give me that film free with my subscription, I think that's a seller. But as a genuine person, if you like the National Treasure movies, go watch it.
No, I love that.
But otherwise, I don't know. It's a family film though.
Would you watch it again then?
You know what, I've got another ticket to go watch it again. I might have to watch it to digest it for a second time.
Okay.